Mr. President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
Gentlemen.
We don't know whether there will be another presidential debate. A debate's not an ideal forum to discuss issues in depth. Either way, there are several critical national security issues that the candidates should be asked about. They are non-military challenges that the military has to deal with, China, regional rivals, the budget, and alliances. No one, of course, can predict the future, but there are certain challenges that the next president is all but certain to face. I called non-military challenges because, again, looking back at the last 30 years, the military has spent most of its time dealing with humanitarian crises and operations other than war. Even the wars that we've had were counterinsurgencies. They weren't Navy versus Navy, Army versus Army. Looking a little farther down the road, it's hard not to predict that climate change will have a big effect on what the U.S. military does. It's a hard question is what kind of a posture does the U.S. military or U.S. national security community in general have to deal with climate change? And we don't want to even think about this right now, but pandemics, plural. Another big issue is China. And China is not just a military issue either. China is richer, it is better armed, and it is more assertive than it has ever been before. But the big question for the candidates is, how are you going to contain China without going to war? You also have regional rivals. I'm thinking of Russia, Iran, and North Korea. I think Russia's danger to the United States is largely going to be in the information warfare sphere. Iran and North Korea. North Korea already a nuclear power. President Trump had this sort of love letter relationship with Kim Jong-un, but he still has his nuclear arsenal. So good question for President Trump. What next? Another big issue is going to be the budget. We have been, as a country, living under budget caps for the last decade. Those caps are no more. It's going to be up to the president and Congress to decide what the size of the defense budget is. The deficit and the debt at some point is going to have to be dealt with. It's unlikely, even if President Trump is reelected, that defense spending will go up very much. But if it remains flat, there are a lot of really hard decisions coming up about what we're going to spend money on. Given flat defense budgets and the need to modernize, what would you spend less on? The last big challenge for the next president, no matter who it is going to be alliances. President Trump has denigrated some of our oldest partners and allies, and it has had an effect, not a good effect, I should say. So what will be the long-term adverse consequences of that? The war on terrorism has been relatively successful, largely because we got good intelligence from other countries because of the kind of ties that we have. Will some countries go into China's orbit because the United States is not necessarily a reliable partner? So that's a little bit of an overview.